Shooting with my daughter in Jersey City. Just handheld flash. Let's go over on how to use it when it's a dreary, rainy, miserable day
Dude,
out.
your intros suck. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm here with my dad. This is John. Say hi, John. Look, the Sony camera, I'm not gonna lie, I had doubts about it. I really didn't have that many doubts. I knew how much he loved it though, and he like literally, and I say this with so much love, has not shut up about this camera for weeks. Anyway, the camera's pretty cool.
So my goal when I'm shooting with my daughter is just to have fun. I don't want to go too technical. And you can see in this first shot, I have too much flash. So I'm dialing everything in as I'm going to say, okay, what's going to work for me today? I wanted that happy medium between I can't really tell there's flash and having flash, because the flash is definitely going to add some pop. And with the Sony flash, this is the HVL F28RM. That adds a little bit of pop to the face, and it doesn't take away from the color, because I actually am on auto white balance, which I never do on most cameras except for Sony in flash mode, because of the fact that it really does compensate for skin tones. And you'll see that throughout these images. The skin tones, 90% of the time, are really good with flash. I got to where I wanted to be pretty quickly with this setup. I set my ISO at 800. The camera was set to aperture priority and the flash was set to TTL. So my shutter speeds bounced in between 800th of a second all the way up to 1,600th of a second. And I was really happy with the results. I think the first question people would ask is, why would you set an ISO to 800 in this kind of light? Because it is, I mean, it is still bright out. It's, heavily overcast, but it's still bright out. But I wanted more of an organic look than a digital look. And having noise from 800 ISO, which is very minor, but it's still there, it just provides a less digital kind of look when I'm shooting at this ISO. Now, on some of these images, you can definitely tell there's flash being used on a lot of them. But I wanted that little bit of extra pop with her. Remember, this lens is only an f2. So I'm not going to have that f1.2 or f1.4 separation. Now, I don't shoot f1.2 or f1.4 very often because I want to see the environment that I'm in, but I still want separation. This lens provides it on a bright sunny day. I can definitely see separation, but on a dreary day like this, using a flash is going to give me that extra level of separation while still maintaining the backdrop. You can still see the environment that we're in, but to get that extra pop, that extra separation, this flash is providing that for me.
It's not true. They're real. They're real.
Okay, so really quick context. She's a content creator, and a lot of comments is like, did you get Botox in your lips? And they're her natural lips, and it drives her crazy. So, of course, as a dad, I got to bring it up.
You should move the camera over. You're blocking.
I'm blocking. Oh, you. I'm so sorry.
Thank you.
I'm so sorry.
Thank you.
I didn't mean to block you.
Now, if that doesn't scream content creator, I don't know what does. I mostly shoot in manual mode, but I do use aperture priority in certain situations, especially like this with my daughter, and I do use it professionally as well. The one mistake I see photographers making with aperture priority is in certain situations where they're using a set ISO, say they're set to ISO 400, they have their aperture set, and the camera is selecting the shutter speed. If it gets a little bit too dark, the shutter speed will slow down to a point where they can get motion blur. Now remember, even with IBIS, if you're shooting people, you're shooting moving subjects, that's where the blur comes from, not from the camera shake.
Show me again. I think we should do more of these. Yeah, you didn't get it. We have to do it again. No, it's really good though. You just didn't execute it.
Oh, we'll shoot this way.
Okay.
That may come off as a little rough for some of you, but that is the greatest gift I could ever ask for in a daughter, because she does not hold back a single thing. Now remember, it doesn't matter if she's right or wrong. The point that she can say, listen, these are really nice, but you didn't execute it correctly, is a gift. You know, having someone be that honest with you about your photos while you're taking them is everything. Now, remember, some of you may instantly go, well, what if they're not right? It doesn't matter. They're always right. They are the client. They are the ones that are going to have to post these images. And if they're telling you, hey, you didn't execute this correctly, I want something different, you didn't do your job. Because in the end, they just won't use the images. And I hear this all the time with younger photographers. Their stance is always, I'm not going to change the way I shoot or my style. If they didn't like my work, why did they hire me in the first place? This is the wrong attitude to have, I promise you. If you want that repeat business or referrals, I promise you, that's not the way to do it.
Ooh. Ooh. Ooh.
Could you stop?
Ooh.
This isn't me telling you never to shoot the way you want to shoot. What I'm trying to tell you is get the shots that your client wants. On the back of the camera, nobody can tell what the image is going to look like in the end. But get those shots exactly the way they want them, and in between shoot exactly what you want to and the way you want to shoot. If you are that convinced that you are 100% right and in the end they're going to like your artistic vision better than their own, that's the way to do it. When you deliver your client images, they're going to have exactly what they were looking for, the exact look that they were looking for, and mixed in with these will be your artistic looks as well. The next statement I know I hear all the time from my students is, well, I don't want them posting or showing images that are their style versus my style with my name on them. Look, if you are that convinced that your artistic vision is better than your client's, this shouldn't be a worry to you whatsoever. And I think what it really comes down to is what's more important to you? Your artistic vision being seen for a split second on social media while somebody's swiping through? Or is earning a living your priority? Remember, if that client isn't happy, they are not going to hire you again. And worse yet, they're not going to refer you. Now, I've been doing this for 44 years, and I have so many repeat clients. I've had repeat clients literally for 44 years. From when I started out, I'm shooting their children's children now. And in this world of mobile photography, we need every leg up we can get. Repeat business and referrals are key in this business. And the only way to do that is to make your clients happy. There is a word for photographers that stick to their artistic vision and say, screw my client, I don't care what they think. That word is broke. Now, I'm not saying that this isn't going to sting at certain times. At certain times, you're going to be in pain for the way they want things shot or the look that they're looking for. But in the end, most of the time, if your vision is right, they're going to pick yours anyway. Have faith in your photography, but give them both. Thanks for watching as always.